My name is Anomalous. I'm your host, and welcome to the Sinister Films channel as we do a little pivot and try something new. I've been producing music-oriented media in Vancouver for decades. The first music video I directed was for Slow in 1985, and I still create videos for the band D.O.A. But in addition to that, I will be creating and posting stories of the strange and unusual, and you'll get to see my face. We'll be starting with music-oriented stories, and we'll go into the realm of the truly strange and unusual from there. Vancouver's underground music scene has been home to a lot of super heavy bands over the years, and I've had the good fortune to create videos for many of them, as I've always been fascinated by the most extreme music. I could and probably will make a video about my experiences with each of these groups, but for now, here's a list of some of Vancouver's heaviest bands ever, with a video from my channel made by me. D.O.A. Formed in 1978 by Joe Shithead, Randy Rampage, Chuck Biscuits, and Dave Gregg, D.O.A. have a multitude of members over the years. D.O.A. have performed everywhere, from CBGBs to prison riots, from environmental benefits to anarchist conventions. 20 albums later, and always focused on hardcore punk rock and social justice, D.O.A. give punk rock and hardcore a good name. No means no. With songs focusing on child abuse, domestic violence, sex madness, suicide, and the dark side of life, brothers John and Rob Wright have been a Loctite rhythm section for decades. With 11 albums under their belt, Tom Holliston provides manic guitar and angst-filled vocals. No Means No toured and recorded extensively from 1979 until 2016 and were inducted into the Western Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 2015. Many No Means No fans consider them to be the only band that matters. Death Sentence. Vancouver's original hardcore band played the downtown scene from the mid-90s until they disbanded in 1991, and then reformed from the mid-90s until the death of their singer, Pete Cleaver. Pete was named after entering a room with a meat cleaver lodged into his head in order to frighten away an unwanted guest, an incident which became legendary on the punk scene. Sid Savage on bass, Doug Donut on drums, Tim Challenger, and many more, Death Sentence were one of Vancouver's founding hardcore bands. The band's two albums, Not a Pretty Sight and Stop Killing Me, have sold an impressive 60,000 copies, even though they've never been re-released on CD. Strapping Young Lad. Possibly the heaviest metal band in the world, Strapping Young Lad played and recorded in Vancouver from 1997 to 2007. Formed by Devin Townsend and featuring Gene Hogland, the world's fastest metal drummer, Byron Stroud and Jed Simon, SYL's legions of fans are spread around the world. They broke up in 2007 with Devin's announcement that SYL required him to go to extremes that took a toll on him. On his own website, Devin reiterates that SYL was a project he eventually perceived to be harmful to his mental and physical health, and that he had to stop. Tank Hog. Named after a girl who'd not give up the nitrous tank at a party, Tank Hog decimated the underground scene with their live West Coast shows throughout the 1990s. Members included Ham and Terry, formerly the rhythm section from the legendary Vancouver pre-grunge band Slow. Not as popular as some of the other bands we're discussing, but they were extremely heavy and were famous for their fast, loud, and chaotic stage performances, as you can see here. Zimmers Hall. This band was named after the nether regions of a drunken acquaintance, and their descent into debauchery only starts there. The singer performs as the heathen, Satan incarnate, and along with a multitude of cheesy props, including giant cheese, he sprays the audience and then serves them drinks from his giant red artificial penis. Jed Simon and Byron Stroud from Strapping Young Lad play guitar and bass. In addition to their over-the-top antics, Zimmers Hall are tight, fast, and super heavy. 3 Inches of Blood. Dungeons and Dragons and Metal Madness, 3 Inches of Blood have them all. Formed in 2002 with several albums and tons of shows under their belts, Vancouver's Lords of Metal Darkness hung up their helmets in 2015. Sadly missed on the live music scene, they could and were always counted on for an intense live performance in intimate venues. The Subhumans. Vancouver's Subhumans played countless hall shows and one-night gigs in Vancouver from 1978 until the sad passing of their frontman, Brian Wimpy Roy, of a heart attack in 2014. Jerry Hanna, bassist for the band, was sentenced to 10 years in prison in 1983 on charges related to environmental terrorism after a group he was involved with, Direct Action, blew up a company that made guided components for nuclear missiles. Fortunately, no one was killed, but there were injuries to several workers and police officers. The media referred to them as the Squamish Five during the trial. Jerry Hanna rejoined the band after his release from jail. One of Vancouver's heaviest bands, Slow, was unusual, as they originally formed while the members were still in high school. Canada's seminal pre-grunge act began their careers performing in an ice-cold warehouse of bare feet on broken glass, fighting with club managers and promoters, and included dressing as doctors and throwing gallons of real pig's blood at their opening show for the Cramps. They were famous for an insanely tight rhythm section accompanied by the amazing guitar work of Ziggy and Christian. Tom Anselmi's reign of madness ended with them causing a riot and shutting down the live music venue at the Expo 86, prematurely and permanently. Well, that was a little roundup of some of the most devastating live acts from the Vancouver underground music scene. If you like the story, let me know your feedback in the comments section. I read and respond to everything, so like, subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. My name's Anomalous. Thanks so much for watching.